Hello and a big welcome to the channel. I'm the Motorsport Madman and this is qualifying ahead of the 2024 Monaco Grand Prix, and this is by far the most excited for a session I have been this entire season, or in fact since the end of 2022, because it is very close. Miami proved that McLaren are in the fight, and Imola backed that up with Lando Norris pushing Max to within 0.7 of a second at the finish. So the McLaren pace is there and Ferrari pace is there as well this weekend. We could be on for a Charles Leclerc pole. That's kind of what I'm hoping for, with the Mercedes cap on as always, but cheering for every other team. But that's how we roll. I'm going for Charles Leclerc pole. That'll be my little cheeky prediction. It's not outrageous. Charles Leclerc's been quick in practice, and it's someone other than Max Verstappen. But we'll see. He might pull it out of the bag at the 11th hour, as is normally the situation. But it's there for the likes of Leclerc, Norris. Can Piastri bag a pole here? Will be massive. You never know. Sainz can pull it out of the bag, obviously, Verstappen. So we could be in with 5 or 6 cars with a real chance at pole position here in Monaco. And yeah, this is the highlight of the Monaco Grand Prix weekend. The race tomorrow, whatever the grid is by the end of today, it's probably going to be the finishing order for the race tomorrow. So today's the day. If Lando Norris wants to win this race, he's got to slap it on pole. Same for Leclerc, Piastri, Sainz, and all the rest of them try to beat Verstappen. But yes, welcome in Chrissy, Ernesto, Kim, Jamza, AFC CL2. I know I'm clashing with the FA Cup final, so I'm probably just going to be talking to myself for an hour, but it is what it is. Every now and then, the Formula One's going to clash with the football in it, but it could be a World Cup final gone to penalties on the other channel. I'm watching the Formula One, do you know what I mean? It is what it is. It's my life, it's in my blood, and Formula One always takes precedence, even if it's a practice session. I'm watching that, do you know what I mean? Give a damn about the FA Cup, but let's get into it. So it started. Apologies for being a few minutes late as well. I've been scrambling about. Just got in from work. Been scrambling about trying to do the title and everything. Get everything ready for the stream. We should be all set up. Hopefully you can hear me. And yeah, we're getting into it. So what are you doing? Lando, Max, Pierre. Pierre? Nah, you're having a laugh. You must have got the names mixed up. You're going Gasly P3. You mean P19? She is at electric. She is right. I'm buzzing for this. This is actually, genuinely, hand on heart, this is the first actual session of the season that I am genuinely buzzing for. Like, Bahrain, I'm like, please. And then from Bahrain to now, it's just been like, we all know. But we genuinely don't know this time. And the thing is, if Max is beaten today, there's a damn good chance of me beating tomorrow as well, because there's not many overtaking moves happen at Monaco. If you slap it on pole here and beat Verstappen, you have got a rite of passage to victory at the Monaco Grand Prix. And I tell you what, if Lando Norris does it, mate, championship's on. Championship is on. I was watching a video by a guy called Tom. Sorry, I've still got this issue where I go pale and that. And yeah, it is what it is, isn't it? I was watching a video from Tomo and he said it's a great video. He put, it's been 366 days. No, 666 days, is it, Summit? What is it? Something like that. 666 days. And I was like, what? So I clicked on the video and he's like, it's been 666 days since F1 was last competitive. And I was going through that video and I was pausing it and talking to myself going, he is absolutely bang on. And he went back to that race in France in 2022. And I've said that as well. I said that in my video where I was like, oh, I'm not going to do it anymore. I said Formula One died at the French Grand Prix in 2022. Well, it fucking resurrected itself in the last couple of weeks. Damn right, we're fully resurrected now, because it did die, and Tomo said it died at the French Grand Prix. When Leclerc hit the wall in France in 2022, Verstappen's won near every single Grand Prix since then, bar 1 or 2 in the last 50. So this is the first time it's been genuinely competitive since then. 666 days, but game is back. on. Thank God, man. Mate, Pierre Gasly's P3. You are an absolute guru. F1 guru. If Pierre Gasly's in the top 10, I'd be surprised. What are you talking about, man? Have you been watching this year or what? CL2. Alpine I tell you what, Pierre Gasly is shake your hand now for a point in P10. Never mind a top 3. It'd be unbelievable. If Pierre Gasly's in the top 6 or 7, it would be an unbelievable performance. Top 3 is like one of the best qualifying laps in history. No joke. Like, he's just going to qualify 17th, bro. I don't know what year. Listen, if he's in the top 10, you've called it. If he's in the top 10, you've called it, man. Pierre is good here. Based on what? Ocon got a podium last year here. You might be getting your drivers mixed up, I feel like. Look at this camera setting, man. I don't know why it does that. I'll just have to keep my hands down. He is all electric. All right, he'll qualify 12th and he'll go 3rd by the end of the race. All right. Well, listen, I hope you're right, because if he does do that, then what a phenomenal race. One of the drives of the century. Yeah. Right, anyway, the cars are out on track. Time is ticking down. We are into Q1. 18-minute session, at the end of which the slowest 5 will be eliminated. I've got to fancy the Charles Leclerc pole there. I do fancy the Charles Leclerc pole there. I do want the Charles Leclerc pole there, if you can't tell. I would quite like that. Although, better than a Charles Leclerc pole would be an Oscar Piastri pole. Oh, that would hit different. A Piastri pole would hit different. Or even, do you know what I would love to see, actually? Lewis. Yeah, a Lewis Hamilton pole would be... I would love to see that. I prefer Piastri pole, but Hamilton pole would be... But you know, Mr. Inevitable will probably still put it out of the bag at the end, but he's got to run for his money now. Since Miami, you know, someone's heard me complaining, saying that I'm going to quit, and they've gone, I tell you what, let's spice this sport up a little bit. And since I had that big rant and saying, oh, this sport's dead and all that, it's actually been resurrected. So, you know. And even though Imola was a weird one, because even though it was like a 1 out of 10 race, Imola was nothing to, you know, nothing for the history books. But what Imola showed is that McLaren pace in Miami was not just a one-off flash in the pan result. McLaren, and especially in the hands of Lando Norris, can really put the fight to Max Verstappen. Hopefully, now for the rest of the season. You know, hopefully we get the first third of the season has been like 2023. Hopefully, Miami and Imola are the signs of a turning point where the second 2/3 of this season now, from round 8 to 24, I think we're on for a pretty good season, to be honest. I do, and if Max wins the next 10, he wins the next 10, and I'm wrong. You know, if he dominates the season and wins, you know, another 13 races this year, then I've got it wrong. But for the first time since the middle of 2022, I actually genuinely think it's game on now. And That's exciting times, man. That's exciting. Is I feel like my flame of F1 has been lit again because it was dying out, man. It was dying out. Either Pierre podium, every car crashes. Love to see Lando, Paul, Ricciardo. What? Yeah. Oh yeah. Given any scenario, but you've got to think slightly realistic as well. Like, yeah, if you want to be completely unrealistic about it, something like a Logan Sargent pole position would be the most incredible thing. Like, but, you know, there's more chance of me snagging pole position from here. So, in a realistic way, I want a Piastri, Hamilton, or Leclerc pole, really. But, you know, Max might pull it out of the bag at the end, but as long as it's close, I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, Verstappen again. No, I think it's going to be close. Either way. If he does it, you know what I mean? Hats off to him. But I think he's got a fight on his hands this afternoon. Bloody hope he does have a fight on his hands. Anyway, let's have a look at the laps. So we're on board with Charles Leclerc then through the swimming pool section around Rascasse. It'd be brilliant. Yeah, it'd be unbelievable. I mean, the more unlikely, the better, isn't it? Really? Well, for me, anyway. The bigger of an underdog story it is, the better it is, I think. So you're on about Pierre Gasly, and I'm laughing it off. But I tell you what, if he does get a podium tomorrow, what a phenomenal drive and what a phenomenal race. So I back it. I will be here going, Pierre Gasly! You know what I mean? I'll be dancing from the rooftops, mate. Singing Pierre Gasly. But chances of that are pretty slim. 1,000 to 1 down at William Hill on that. Oh, you would actually, hey, if you do fancy doing that CL2, if you fancy getting on a bookies one, not condoning gambling, but I tell you what, you get bloody good odds on Pierre Gasly getting a podium at the Monaco Grand Prix. And no joke, you probably would be looking at 500 to 1. All jokes aside, you probably get 500 to 1 on Gasly podium. So if you fancy putting £1 on that, 500 return, you know what I mean? £5 on it, what you're looking at, $2,500. You know what I mean? If you want to do it, bro, you get 500 to 1 on Gasly top 3. But yes, SHT, welcome to the stream, bro. Just finished watching the MotoGP. Oh, I never bother with that. Was it chaos? Was it good? Yeah. I mean, I know the racing's a lot better, isn't it? But I've just never been into that. It's just never been my kettle of fish. Piastri purple middle sector then in the McLaren. The Senna special edition liveried McLaren for this weekend as well. I do like that livery. Oh, I tell you what. Piastri bouncing over the curb at Anthony Nogues as well. And across the line, he comes then. Goes quickest. A 1:11.8 for Oscar Piastri. He is track evolution session, yeah. Before we get into Q2 and Q3, yeah, you might be right. Leclerc crosses the line to go P9. Not a fantastic lap from Charles, but it's early days in Q1, so he won't be too worried about that. Traffic there on board with Daniel Ricciardo. He's not going to be happy about that. Yeah. There is going to be a lot of traffic in Q1. There's nothing you can do about that. You've just got to be the team's got to try and put you in a bit of clear air. You've got to try and navigate it the best you can. And also there's a little bit of luck involved as well. Q1's in Monaco qualifying is always going to be chaotic. You know, you'd be very lucky to get a perfect clean lap in Q1. You know, you're just going to have to accept the fact that, yeah, there's going to be some traffic. Yeah, you know what, SHT? I feel like this season was looking like another 1 out of 10 season. But since Miami, I am genuinely feeling a lot more positive about this season now. You know, and I might be wrong. Like I said before, you know, Verstappen might go on to win another 12 races this year, and it is what it is, and I was wrong. But I've just got a feeling that it is somewhat competitive again for the first time since the middle of 2022. I just feel like someone other than Verstappen has got a fair old crack of the whip now. You know, Norris can really put the fight to him. Leclerc can really put the fight to him, hopefully from this point onwards. You know, and I think we're out of the worst of it. That's my feeling. Like I say, I might be wrong, but I feel like we're through the worst of the Verstappen era now. I feel like there's light at the end of the tunnel now, I feel. I really do feel that. And I hope that proves true. I really do. The sport really needs some good races now. So there's a surprise news report about science having good discussions in Beijing. Yeah, I did see that, yeah. What do you think to that? Do you think he'll go to Williams? I tell you what, it's a lot. He'd be putting a lot of faith in James Vowles and that project, but it's an interesting one. That I would be, yeah. I just wonder if Williams are really looking at 2026 and having a proper good go at it. I mean, obviously all the 10 teams will be wanting to have a proper good go at it in 26. Obviously, they all are. But I just wonder if Williams are... yeah. I wonder that's where we sort of get a Williams resurgence. A long overdue Williams resurgence in 2026. And they're sort of selling it to science and saying, listen, you know, Alex is signed up for the long term. This is why. Because look at our 2026 plans. I'd say that it's not out of the realms of possibility that Williams produce a decent car with the new regs. And Albon and Sainz is a pretty decent driver lineup to take into 26. Sainz would be showing a lot of faith in that. Does he go with Williams over Audi, do you think, though? Yes, JJ. How are we doing, mate? I'm good. How are you? We're just 5 minutes ago in Q1. Not been doing a lot of commentary because it's still early days. It does happen. It'll be Williams' best driver allowance since Bottas Massa, yeah. I don't think it's out of the question. I'll tell you what will be exciting, though, if Mercedes do go Antonelli, which is what the media is saying, then that's massive. You know, I'll be sat here with an Antonelli cap on. Well, it'd be half Antonelli, half Hamilton. I don't know who will be supporting. If Antonelli goes to Mercedes next season, I don't know who will be supporting. I really don't know. I would love that, though. It's looking likely. Anyway, let's get into this. We've Under 4 minutes to go now. Yeah, Mick. Oh, yeah, Mick back in as well. If Mick comes back to the grid as well, God, I'll be supporting half the grid. Oh yeah, if Mick returns, oh yes, Alpine all the way. I don't think it'll happen, but you never know though, do you? You never know. You never know. Stranger things have happened. I've not even looked at the lap times. Haas are 4th and 5th. They're through. You know what I mean? They've got to be through on that. Look at the top 6. Verstappen goes 3rd then, but it's Russell, Leclerc, Verstappen, Stroll, Sargent 11th. Oh, anybody could be knocked out here. Albon goes 5th. Oh, mind you, Haas might get shuffled down to the back now. Everyone's improving now. 2.5 minutes to go in Q1, and everybody's going quicker now. It's game on now. Tsunoda's gone purple middle sector. Fastest of everybody. Tsunoda then slots into 7th between the two Hasses. Ocon goes P10. Ooh, he's going to be knocked out here. Norris and Perez are in the bottom 5 at the minute. Norris is in the pit. Hang on a minute. What's going on with Lando Norris? He needs to get out of the pits now. Oh, Lando Norris is under pressure here. 1 lap. Yeah, Norris is under pressure here. He's got a 1 lap to produce the goods as Perez crosses. Perez only 14th. I tell you what, he's in trouble. Sergio Perez is in big trouble of being knocked out in Q1 here. Across the line comes Lewis Hamilton. Second is a Mercedes 1-2 here. Early doors in qualifying in Monaco. What's game on this? Oh, I tell you what. No joke, yeah. This is the most buzzing I've been for a session all season. Oh, mate. I feel so much more positive now about the 2024 season after Miami and Imola, neither of which were phenomenal races, but gave me an indication that competition is back. Competition in Formula One is back for the first time in 2 years. And now, I mean, it's game on now, I think. Oh, Alonso stays 13th. Look at them all queuing up here at Anthony Noakes. How many seconds left? 30. Oh, my God. He's under pressure here. Yeah, Lando Norris's tyres are going to be cold here. Lando Norris under massive pressure here in Q1 in Monaco to get a lap together. Oh, this is big pressure and a big lap. You know, I feel like Lando Norris has the potential and has the car now to take the fight to Max Verstappen this season. But he is under massive pressure here to even get out of Q1. I tell you what, where's Sergio Perez, man? Anybody can get knocked out here. Well, the Mercs are looking pretty good. Look at the gap. It's a 10th between the top 4. And Albon's P5. Ricciardo goes P8. I think he'd be safe with that. Where's Piastri down in 12th? Oh, McLaren are in trouble here. Gasly goes P7. Yes, CL2 knows his stuff as Norris is safe, goes P9. Okay, where's Piastri? Oh, Piastri goes 2nd. Where's Sergio Perez going to pop in? He's 18th at the moment, crosses the line, boom, and stays 18th. Sergio Perez has had an absolute stinker in Monaco. An absolute stinker. And Sergio Perez is out. Ooh, knocked out in Q1 then. Fernando Alonso P16, Logan Sargent P17, Sergio Perez P18 in the most dominant car we've ever seen in the sport. Well, last year's. But still, what is going on? And then the two Sauber kick, steak, whatever you want to call it. Two Saubers, 19th and 20th, Bottas and Zhou. But yeah, out then, Alonso, Sargent, Perez, Bottas, Zhou, and the top 15 go through to Q2. Sergio Perez. An absolute nightmare. Hey Rob, have you ever watched F1 this season? Mate, you picking Gasly to be third in this race is so outrageous. It's so outrageous, CL2. And it's still outrageous. I don't know where you're getting that from. I don't know if you're a time traveller. But I stand by what I said. It's a criminal prediction. But a criminal prediction like that, should you be right, is an unbelievable prediction. Yeah. I think how are you why Gasly? I feel like you just picked a name out of a hat to sound like a smart ass. Do you know what I mean? It's like me going Magnussen, and then Magnussen gets through and I go, told you. Whereas in reality, I've got no actual knowledge or basis why I've picked Magnussen. I've just said a name. Do you know what I mean? I feel like you're pulling that card on me, and then you're going, yeah. And then you just sit there and go, yeah, I've got all the knowledge. No, you haven't. You've been stone cold lucky. Yeah, there's no logic that have put Gasly anything higher than about, I don't know. I mean, has Gasly ever been, like, outstanding at the Monaco Grand Prix? Not that I can think of. I don't know where you're getting it from. I think you just fancy a random shout. He trains so hard. The old trains so hard, man. But, you know, it's a big shout if you get it right. The competition is getting closer, but not a great period for me. Well, obviously not yet, SHT, but I'm saying it's got the potential to be. Obviously, it's not a great period. Like, Miami, even though Norris won it, the reality is it wasn't a phenomenal race. It's just that someone different won it. So I was like, get in, 10 out of 10. But the reality is it wasn't that great. And Imola was shocking, really. But it gave me a sign that there is an actual potential in this season. Because last season there was absolutely no potential in it. It was dead, and I was just coming live every week just going, yeah, we all know Verstappen win. And we could have all taken a nap. But I feel like, obviously it's not a great period. It's still yet to prove itself. But I feel like the potential is there from now to the end of the season for this to be actually decent. You know, I'm not saying 2021 levels where it goes down to the final race or anything like that, but maybe, you know, looking back on this season, it won't simply just be Verstappen, 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 Sainz, Verstappen, 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 Sainz, Verstappen, Verstappen, Verstappen. I'm saying maybe it won't be like that this year. Maybe it'll be more like Verstappen, Verstappen, Norris, Leclerc, Verstappen, Norris, Verstappen, Norris, Verstappen, Verstappen, Leclerc, Leclerc, Verstappen, Norris, Hamilton, Verstappen, Verstappen, Norris, Leclerc, Verstappen, Perez. Like that. You know what I mean? Instead of Verstappen reeling off 10 in a row, I feel like Norris is going to get a few more hopefully. Maybe Leclerc can get a couple of wins this season. You know, maybe something really bizarre can happen and we get a Hamilton victory along the way, but that's... I mean, yeah, now I'm dreaming, but the point is, there's light at the end of the tunnel, I feel like. And, you know, there's a chance that the remainder of this season could be half decent. That's what I'm saying. Norris should have won at Imola. Yeah, I mean, if Norris had won Imola, championship challenge on. We're starting Q2 now anyway. But yes, Salty Dog, welcome to the stream, bro. Miss Q1, no worries, mate. You're here now. You're here for the pole position shootout in a little while, so that's the main thing. But yes. That's what I was saying, JJ. If Norris went back-to-back Miami, Imola, oh, mate, coming into this weekend, I'd be fully revved up. I mean, not as if I'm not already, but yeah, that would have been major. Still, it was a good sign that the McLaren pace wasn't just a flash in the pan, one race wonder. My opinion of this season has changed dramatically over the last 3 weeks. I'll tell you that. And my opinion of Formula One in general has changed massively in the last 3 weeks. I was ready for signing off and saying, listen, I've given this a go, but the sport's dead. What can you do? Now, resurrection, mate. Full resurrection. And it might turn out that, you know, it was a false dawn, but, you know, Verstappen wins every race from now to Christmas, and I sit here going, well, I had a bit of hope in Monaco, but yeah, cheers. But you've got to have hope. Anyway, what we're saying. Madman's Max rap. I know it did sound like a rap. But you know what I'm trying to say, though. Back-to-back weekends, Alonso's out in Q1. Oh, yeah, not a great period. Yeah, not a great period as an Alonso fan, is it? No. No, I didn't look at it that way, but you're right. Yeah, as an Alonso fan, for Aston Martin in general, they've really dropped off this season. Which, yeah, it's a bit of a nothing season, isn't it, for Aston Martin now? Very difficult. Another weekend to write off, yeah. Yeah, that's why, for me, I used to be like that, SHC, where my colours were firmly nailed to one mast. You know, like, I'm all about one driver. And that is such a emotionally draining way to watch F1, man. I've been through that, where if your driver, something happens to him, it's like, well, I might as well switch it off. Like, you probably feel like, oh, I might as well just come back in Canada now. And yeah, it's not nice. It's not nice, man. when I was growing up in my late teens, everything was just Lewis Hamilton, and the other 19 drivers didn't even exist. And so every time something happened to Lewis, it was the end of the world. You know, if he got a puncture, if he tapped a wall, if somebody crashed into him, if the pit stop was a bit slow, it would be the end of the world. And these days, I've sort of made peace with the fact that his journey's sort of completed, even though he's going to Ferrari, and that kind of fires me up a little bit on it. But I've sort of come to terms with that journey is completed. And in the last sort of 5 or 6 years, I'm sort of on a different thing of like looking at it from a more of a journalistic point of view, in a way, where I can see the excitement in a variety of different results, which is, you know, an easier way to watch. Yeah, MotoGP and Indy 500 for you. Is Indy 500 straight after the Monaco Grand Prix on Sunday? I would watch that, but I'm going out. I would have done it. I would have done Indy 500 watch along, just chilling, just sat here with a beer and just like, yeah, cheers. But no, I can't. I'm going out Sunday afternoon, so do Monaco Grand Prix and then that's it. Honestly, I have way more fun watching MotoGP and IndyCar compared to, yeah. I'm not surprised. Did you all see Homer's historic Grand Prix? I saw clips of that. I saw bits and bobs of it. I know they live streamed it on YouTube, didn't they? So I did see a bit of it, but I can't pretend that I watched the whole thing, no. But here we go then, 9 minutes to go in Q2. Let's get into it then. And Verstappen is quickest by a tenth and a half. Oh, F1 dead. Do you know what I'm like? Flip-flopping. Do you know what I'm like? I'm like a football fan that wants the manager out and then they get a win and I'm like, nah, stick with him. Trust the project. You know what I mean? Verstappen wins a few races, I'm like, nah, sport's crap, don't want to do this anymore. Then someone else wins a race, I'm like, oh, nah, yeah, real potential. I love this sport. Live it, breathe it, never miss it. I feel like I'm a little bit like that at the minute. I'm flip-flopping around. But I am a lot more optimistic now than I was before Miami. That is for sure. That is 100%. Because of the timeline. 50, 60, 70 F1 cars actually racing each other around Monaco. Yeah, it is fun to watch, yeah. And I bet they sounded a hell of a lot better than these cars. I was watching, did you see the demonstration that Vettel did of Ayrton Senna's McLaren, I think 93 McLaren? Imola, oh, that thing was a beast, man. I turned the volume up on my TV to 100. I think they were like V12s. Oh, mate, that thing was a beast, man. That is how F1 should sound like. Right, anyway, we've got 7 minutes to go in Q2. It's Verstappen, Sainz, Tsunoda, Ocon, Leclerc, Norris, Piastri, Hamilton, and Russell and Stroll. Top 10 at the moment. But obviously, still a few laps to go in. It's Pierre Gasly then. CL2's got him on for a podium this weekend at 680 to 1 at William Hill. I tell you what, if he gets top 10, fair play, man, because I wouldn't have called that. But they're looking all right. They are looking better than expected. That is for sure. Now, if you've called a podium out of the blue before quali starts and it happens, That might be one of the best shouts in history. But yeah, no, if they get a top 10, listen, if Gasly gets a couple of points, then that's a dub, innit? Considering where they have been this season. Seb did the flag arrangement Senna had planned. Somebody must have been cutting onions nearby. Oh, honestly. And fair play on Sky. They said, turn your volume up and just listen to this. They didn't do any commentary, any bollocks, or any waffling. They just showed Vettel in Ayrton Senna's 93 McLaren and just said, turn up your volume and listen to this. And I must have watched that. I must have rewound it and watched it about a dozen times. Just like, yeah. Piastri goes quickest then in the McLaren, a 1 minute 10.756. Okay. Turning up the wick. Game on in Q2 now as Russell goes second then on a 1 minute 10.9. Seeing Alpine up there is even more dejecting. Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, you took pride in laughing at Alpine every opportunity you could get last year. I did notice that. So it's a little bit... It's coming back to bite you a little bit now. Did it at Miami too before quali. Said Lando first, Max second, Oscar third. I think Oscar would have, yeah. I think you're right. Oscar would have made it, yeah. What a shout that was. Are you a time traveller or what? Alonso got caught by traffic again. Oh my God. When your luck's not in, it's not in. You know what I mean? Think so at this point. You don't mind giving yourself a bit of credit, do you? Bloody hell. You don't mind patting yourself on the back, do you, CL2, man? Norris goes fastest on a 110 point. I tell you what, 110.732. So there's a 10th between the top three. Norris, Piastri, Leclerc, top three at the minute. 2.5 minutes to go then to the end of Q2. These are the crucial laps to get through to Q3 and the pole position shootout then. Bottom five at the moment is, as Albon goes 8th, the bottom five is Gasly, Stroll, Magnussen, Hulkenberg, and Ricciardo. Okay, game on now, 2 minutes to go. This is critical. There's a rumour they're going to ditch hybrid with the new regs and go back to V8s running synthetic fuel. I'm gonna say something now. I think that will happen eventually. I think that eventually they will go back to a V8 with synthetic fuel, but I don't think it's going to be 2026. Maybe the next regulation change after that, 2030, 2032. I feel like that could be a possibility eventually. It's probably too close now to 2026. We're only we're only 18 months out. So to change it from what the plans have probably been for 3 or 4 years, to change it now is too late. I wouldn't be surprised if the next regulation change, another 5 years later or another 6 years later, whatever, they then have the technology to go, right, V8s, synthetic fuel, let's have a do. I do see that in the future, and I hope that is the future. Yeah, but 2026, I don't know. It will be a radical change of direction at this point. It'd be a radical change of direction 18 months out, and I just don't see it, because you've already got Ford signed up, you've already got Audi signed up, you've already got Andretti with Cadillac doing their own project. And I do feel like Andretti will eventually get the entry, whether it's in 26, 27. I feel like Andretti will get on the grid eventually. They've just got to keep hammering down those hurdles and keep jumping over those hurdles, and Andretti will get on the grid. Yeah, but maybe at some point in the future. That's what I'm saying. Ford are involved as well. Anyway, I've missed the end of Q2 here. Well, not really, but I've been rambling on there about engine regulations when really I should be focusing on the dying embers of Q2 here. Gasly's gone P5, CL2 has come in clutch with this. I honestly can't believe this. Yuki Tsunoda has gone 9th, but he's going to struggle. Ricciardo is definitely out then. What a lap from Pierre Gasly, says Martin Brundle. CL2 has absolutely clapped this prediction. This is unbelievable. Yeah, I'll tell you what, if Gasly qualifies like top 6, podium's on. Oh, you should have got money on it though. Never mind, like just getting one over on me. Bollocks to getting one over on me and me laughing and going, no chance, going to be 17th, and then he finishes 3rd. Bollocks to getting one over on me. I don't claim to be any expert. Get some money, man. You should have backed it financially. Getting one over on me doesn't matter, does it, in the scheme of things? It means you can come on the next stream and go, remember I said about Gasly? Yeah, but... No, cat deprived. Cat deprived. Get yourself a cat, I reckon. I reckon you should get yourself a cat. Yeah. I feel you're feeling a little bit deprived, aren't you? I feel get yourself a cat. You know what I mean? Get yourself a little kitten. Too young to go. Oh, peak times. I feel like it made me feel like Alonso should call it quits. No. No. He's going through a bit of a rough patch at the minute, Fernando Alonso, but he'll be all right. Yeah. It's a shame because last season was so good, wasn't it? You know, especially the first half of last season. I know Netherlands as well in the second half of the season. He got another podium, but first half of last season, what did Alonso get? Like 6 podiums in the first 7 or something like that. It was a madness. Yeah. What is it now? P19. Yeah, it's peak, bro. But... Well, he's signed up. Is he signed up for 26 with Aston Martin? Is he doing at least the next 2 seasons? That's how I understand it anyway, that he's signed up for the regulation change. Yeah, he's 26, man. Crucial Albon got his Williams into Q3 as well. Yeah, so Albon's there. Yeah, so I didn't say, but Ocon, Hulkenberg, Ricciardo, Stroll and Magnussen got knocked out in that session. Then through to the top 10 is Norris, Verstappen, Piastri, Leclerc, Gasly, Russell, Hamilton, Sainz, Tsunoda, and Alex Albon. I cannot believe, right, CL2, yeah. This is one hell of a prediction, I'm telling you now. Because, right, I would not have had Pierre Gasly getting into Q3. I would not have had that on a bingo card. I would not have had that on my F1 bingo card this weekend. Pierre Gasly Q3, no chance. And the fact that he's done it comfortably in P5 is even more of a... Now, I missed final practice. Was he rapid in final practice? Is that the key to the success here? Was he rapid in FP3? Because I was at work for FP3, so I didn't see that. Is that your secret weapon? Because other than that, you might as well have picked a name out of the hat. So, I don't know, mate, but I'll say this, it's on. It's on. He was 11th. Well, here we go. Cat deprives in on a Pierre Gasly. I might have to change my cap here. But that might jinx it. If I change to an Alpine cap now, do I jinx it? Right, what do you think? Do I change to an Alpine cap now? And back the Pierre Gasly top 3? I can't believe that. I can't believe not only is he in Q3, he's easily. I don't have a Red Bull cap. I don't have Red Bull. I don't have Red Bull merch. I don't need to give them any more money to fund this project, do I? You know what I mean? No, I don't have Red Bull merch. I don't have McLaren merch either because an orange t-shirt with a ginger hair and a ginger beard. It's not my colour orange, believe it or not. So I don't bother with McLaren stuff. And I don't have Red Bull stuff. Got Haas, Alpine, Aston Martin, Williams, Mercedes. Did I say Alpine? Haas. Half the grid. I'd like an RB shirt, you know what I mean? Not Red Bull, I'm talking about RB Cash App thing. Yeah, Tsunoda. Tsunoda merch I want. Anyway, get a Red Bull one on so Max don't win. Get him on the Jinx one. Prime Red Bull next season. Red Bull don't win. Yeah, no, Prime's done for, innit? We've seen it before with Esteban last year. He qualified P3 back then. Yeah, well, he finished third, didn't he, last year? Ocon. But with Alpine's current state, Pierre's doing a stellar job. He is. I mean, fair play. They've... to be honest, I thought there would be a big fallout between at least one of the drivers and Alpine this season. I did think that one of them would really throw the toys out of the pram and be like, nah. You know, and be like, nah, this is not what I was promised. The team's going backwards. I'm tearing up the contract. I'm gone. You know, I thought there was going to be a big public fallout with one of the... But to be fair, they've stayed quiet. Ocon and Gasly. They've got on with it. They've dealt with it. And they're progressing. And they're not as in a bad a position as they were at the start of the season. That's for sure. The Gasly being in Q3 now is way above expectations, but not above CL2's expectations. He called it, which is ridiculous in my opinion. Unbelievable. But it is starting to improve a little bit. So... fair play to Ocon and Gasly sticking with it. You know, trust the process and all that. It might pay off. Also, there's reports that VCarb are aiming to bring Tsunoda and Ricciardo back to the team next year, but Ricciardo's form at the moment. Yeah, I think that's still... the jury's still out on that lineup. I feel like Do you know what? I think Tsunoda should move. I feel like Tsunoda should move like to Williams, or I feel like he should move his career on out of that Red Bull family. I don't think he will. I think he'll just stay with RB next year. But you know, if I'm Tsunoda's management team, I'm saying let's get out of this Red Bull pen, because you're gonna have to be like win a race or something stupid to get promoted up. I don't see Tsunoda driving for Red Bull at any point. I just don't see it. I feel like it'd cause absolute havoc, and Red Bull don't need havoc. So I think he needs to get out of the Red Bull pen and get in a Williams or a Sauber that becomes Audi, or do you know what I mean? Get out of there. But I don't think he will. I think they'll keep him on. But Ricciardo, I think the jury is really out on Ricciardo. I think for Daniel Ricciardo, it is absolutely 50-50 down the middle. Does Daniel Ricciardo drive for RB next season? I would reckon that is a 50-50 flip of the coin right now. And just, you know, the next half dozen races will probably decide that. Yeah, I think that's a 50-50. I really do. I do not know what Daniel Ricciardo's future holds, but Tsunoda will probably be there with Lawson. If I was to predict it, probably Tsunoda Lawson. But I hope Daniel Ricciardo picks it back up and proves, you know, who's first. It's on there. Oh, he was. Was he briefly first? Was it? Is that what it was? Was Gasly pole position? No, listen. You've already called. For me, you already get the credit, CL2. Even if Gasly ends up P10, you've already called something, in my opinion. You've done extremely well to call that. Because I never would have had Gasly comfortably getting through to Q3. Anyway, 8.5 minutes to go in Q3. I feel like Ricciardo's had great showings, but isn't really as consistent. Yeah, I agree with that. He'll only go to a team with a Honda engine. Well, the thing is, there ain't that many out there. The only teams with a Honda engine is RB and Red Bull, but they're going to their own. It's RB powertrains in it now. It's not even Honda branded anymore. So I don't know, but I don't feel it should take Honda backing to keep Tsunoda in Formula One. He's good enough with or without the Honda backing. Tsunoda's proved he's good enough. Anyway, let's get into this. 7 minutes, 40 seconds to go in Q3. The fight for pole position in Monaco is on. Verstappen's gone purple first sector. Top three looks sexy. Yes, Chrissy, welcome to the stream, mate. Okay, so Russell goes P4. If Aston Martin's clever enough, they would have had Yuki. Yeah, I feel like they should have gone Alonso Tsunoda, but obviously they won't, will they? Oh, yeah, they're going to Honda. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, exactly. Aston Martin, he was there for them. I never even thought of that connection. Aston Martin should have done that. Verstappen goes third. Aston Martin should have gone that. Maybe they will do that for 26. Maybe they'll go, right, Stroll maybe they'll put Stroll in World Endurance Championship. Yuki Tsunoda, Honda, Alonso. Maybe that's it, SHT. Maybe you've got it there. Maybe another red flag during quality cause damage has happened before, I know. I'm surprised we've not really seen anyone in the wall badly yet over all the practice sessions. Obviously, we've seen people brushing off the... I don't know if there's a crash in FP3, but I don't think there was. But yeah, let's see what happens. 6 minutes to go in Q3. It's Leclerc, Piastri, Verstappen, Sainz. Yeah, 2 McLarens versus 2 McLarens. Haha, did I just say that? 2 McLarens versus 2 Ferraris versus 1 Red Bull for pole position. It is a 5-way fight for pole here. It genuinely. It's Sergio Perez, God knows what he's done, man. So Verstappen complaining of issues in turns 5 and 10. If Verstappen still clutches pole here, it is an incredible performance. Obviously, don't see Stroll having the seat by the time. I hope not, man. And that's a horrible thing to say, that that I hope someone's not in Formula One. But you know, if justice shall prevail, he shouldn't be there. You know, and to be fair, I think he'd probably do a good job in World Endurance Championship. I'm not saying he's a bad driver, but is he one of the best 20 in the world? Probably not. I think Bottas tapped the outside barrier in swimming pool and broke it. Oh, did he? Oh, I didn't see that. That's been the only proper incident though. I think Zhou Guanyu broke an end fence of his front wing in FP1, but you know, minimal damage. Gasly makes it to 4th. You've already won, in my opinion, CL2. The fact that Gasly got through to Q3 easily, you've already won. It's an unbelievable... How... There's no logical explanation for that. Alonso have off weekends like this, yeah. Honda is going to pressurise Aston Martin to get the best lineup they can before officially starting together, yeah. They did mention it, yeah. Yeah, so Albon's happy with that lap then in P7. And here we go then. Visor goes down for Charles Leclerc as he exits the garage for a pole position shootout. 3.5 minutes to go in Q3 in Monaco. And this is the most significant qualifying session of the entire season because you can't overtake round here. So the grid position is absolutely critical. Well, can't overtake. Very difficult to overtake, shall we say. It's possible. I've seen it. Not easy, though. So, qualifying, absolutely crucial. Sainz starts his final flying lap then with 2.5 minutes to go in Q3. Come on then, who's going to get it? Sainz isn't on it yet, so he's going to go round again, warm up the tyres again, and go for it one final lap. I don't think Lewis is on it yet, is he? Russell's gone purple sector 1. Okay. If Mercedes get a pole here, it's massive. Absolutely massive. All right then, George. George slaps a pole out of left field now. Hey, I'll tell you what, George is in on a good lap as Hamilton goes P4 then. So Hamilton up to 4th at the moment with a 1 minute to go in Q3. George Russell then comes across the line. and goes third. So it's Leclerc, Piastri, Russell, Verstappen, Hamilton, top 5 at the moment. Leclerc's on a lap. Into to back he comes then. Verstappen saying he's hit the wall. Okay. Might hit the wall. It might just mean he brushed the wall, but Tsunoda goes 7th. Here we go then. Charles Leclerc across the line. Can he improve on... And he does improve. Okay then, so Leclerc sets the benchmark at a 1 minute 10.270. Piastri second at the moment. It's Leclerc, Piastri front row at the moment. Here comes Carlos Sainz around the final corner. Here comes Carlos Sainz then to the line. Can Sainz do it for Ferrari? Third means it's Leclerc, Piastri, Sainz. Top 3 at the moment. Lando Norris crosses the line and goes P4. So it's Ferrari, McLaren at the moment at the front. Verstappen has not improved. Verstappen's bailed out. It is not going to be a Verstappen pole here today in Monaco. It's Verstappen who's going to be 7th at best on the grid. Verstappen 6th at best, sorry. That is it. It is Leclerc, Piastri front row. Leclerc, Piastri front row. What can Gasly do in the Alpine? Leclerc on pole position in Monaco ahead of Oscar Piastri. Carlos Sainz 3rd. Lando Norris 4th. George Russell 5th. Max Verstappen only 6th ahead of Lewis Hamilton. Gasly crosses the line and it is P10 for Pierre Gasly in the Alpine. He'll be happy to get through to Q3 regardless. But this season is on. This season is officially on. Leclerc, Piastri, Sainz, Norris, Russell, Verstappen, Hamilton, Tsunoda, Albon, Gasly, top 10 in Monaco. Ferrari, McLaren, Mercedes, Red Bull, Mercedes, RB, Williams, Alpine, top 10. And Verstappen made a mistake. Verstappen made a mistake. What a session. Do a rate qualifying sessions out of 10 because I'm giving that a big fat juicy 9.5. No, honestly, I don't rate qualifying sessions. But if I did, if Carlsberg did, if the Motorsport Madman did qualifying ratings, this would be right up there. No, listen, that's a fantastic session. Join me for the Monaco Grand Prix tomorrow from 1:30 p.m. UK time. Lights out, 2 p.m, baby. Lights out, 2 p.m, baby. Right, listen, that was an absolute banger of a quali session, mate. I'll be deadly honest with you there. I feel like that's the first mistake I've seen Verstappen make for a good 3 years. So that's a brilliant grid. That's a fantastic grid. Leclerc, Piastri, Sainz, Norris, Russell, Verstappen, Hamilton, Tsunoda. What a grid that is for the Monaco Grand Prix. Please do drop a like on the stream. Get yourself subscribed if you haven't already. I'm live for every single Grand Prix from the Formula 1 World Championship. And next up is round 8. It's the Monaco Grand Prix tomorrow, 1:30 p.m. UK time. Please do join me for that. Lights out, 2 p.m. It's Charles Leclerc at his home race on pole position with 2 Ferraris in the top 3, 2 McLarens in the top 4. And it is game on in 2024. Do join me for tomorrow. Cheers, everybody. It almost sounds like a proper F1 lineup. I couldn't have said it better myself, Salty Dog. Cheers, guys. Peace out. This season is on. I'm telling you now, I have been down. I've been depressed about this season. I've been writing this season off. I was wrong. This season is game on, baby. Charles Leclerc on pole position at his home race ahead of Oscar Piastri. Monaco, baby, yeah. Hey yo, why did no one tell me Man United were 2-0 up in the FA Cup final? What the hell? Oh my God, no way, yeah. Talking about... Shall I do an FA Cup final watch along now to 2-0 up? United! United!